Widowed millionaire discovers the poor waitress holding his triplet daughters and is left in shock. The rain came down like needles that night, sharp and cold, drumming against the tall windows of the Oak Ridge Grill with a rhythm that made Taylor Monroe's head throb. She'd been on her feet for 11 hours straight, her lower back screaming, her sneakers soaked through from the kitchen's leaking dishwasher. The red jacket, her grandmother's old thing, worn thin at the elbows, hung heavy on her shoulders, damp with steam and sweat. It was 2:47 a.m., the kind of hour when the world felt like it was holding its breath. Taylor wiped down the last of the VIP tables on the mezzanine level, her cloth moving in slow, practiced circles. Below, the main dining room sat empty, chairs stacked like sentinels, the marble floors gleaming under the emergency lights. The storm had knocked out the power grid 20 minutes ago, and now the restaurant's backup generator growled somewhere in the belly of the building. A tired, mechanical wheeze that made the overhead lights flicker and buzz. She was 25 years old. She'd worked at the Oak Ridge Grill for 4 years, always taking the shifts nobody wanted, holidays, overnight closings, the dead hours between midnight and dawn. It paid $3 more per hour, and those $3 meant the difference between making rent and sleeping in her car. Not that she had a car anymore. Taylor shook her head, pushing the thought away. No use dwelling. That's what Grandma Ruth used to say. Keep your hands busy, and your mind won't wander where it shouldn't. She was reaching for the last glass, a champagne flute with lipstick smudged on the rim when footsteps clicked across the floor behind her. Taylor. The voice was cool, smooth, expensive. Taylor turned to find Charlotte Lockhart standing in the doorway, her tailored gray suit somehow still crisp despite the late hour. Charlotte was 42, but could pass for 35. With sharp cheekbones and eyes like chips of ice, she ran the Lockhart group with the kind of precision that made grown men nervous. "Miss Lockhart." Taylor straightened, clutching the dirty glass. "I'm almost done up here. Just finishing the... I need you in the storage room now." Taylor blinked. "The storage room. There's a situation." Charlotte's smile didn't reach her eyes. "Nothing serious. Just some inventory that needs sorting before the morning shift. You know how it is." Taylor didn't know how it was. In 4 years, she'd never been asked to handle inventory at 3 a.m. Charlotte Lockhart wasn't the kind of woman you questioned. "Not if you wanted to keep your job, of course," Taylor said quietly. "I'll head down right now." Charlotte nodded once, her heels already turning away. "Good." The back entrance. Second door on the left, and then she was gone, disappearing down the staff corridor like a ghost in designer heels. Taylor stood there for a moment, that champagne flute still in her hand, a weird prickle crawling up the back of her neck. Something felt off, but she couldn't put her finger on what. She set the glass down, dried her hands on her apron, and headed for the stairs. The storage room was in the back of the building, past the industrial kitchen and through a narrow hallway that always smelled like bleach and old grease. The emergency lights barely reached this far, casting everything in a sickly yellow glow. Taylor's footsteps echoed off the concrete walls. She found the door, second on the left, just like Charlotte said, and turned the handle. The smell hit her first. Sour milk, damp cardboard, and something else, something sharp and wrong. Taylor fumbled for the light switch, but nothing happened. The backup generator didn't reach this room. She pulled out her phone, thumbed on the flashlight, and stepped inside. The beam swept across metal shelves stacked with canned goods, boxes of napkins, industrial-sized containers of ketchup. And then it landed on the stroller. Taylor's breath caught. It was a baby stroller, expensive, the kind with 3 wheels and a canopy sitting crooked in the middle of the room. The canopy was soaked, water dripping steadily from a broken pipe in the ceiling above, and inside the stroller, bundled in thin, damp blankets, were 3 tiny shapes. 3 babies. Taylor's phone nearly slipped from her hand. She crossed the room in 3 strides, her heart hammering so hard she could feel it in her throat. The babies were crying, not the loud, healthy wail of an infant demanding attention, but a weak, hiccuping sound that made Taylor's stomach twist. They were freezing. She dropped to her knees, her hands shaking as she pulled back the blankets. 3 little faces, red and scrunched, their skin cold to the touch. Triplets, baby girls, maybe 3 or 4 months old. Their diapers were soaked through, their clothes damp, and Taylor's breath hitched. Each of them had a tiny dimple, left cheek, the same spot on all 3. Her mind raced. She'd seen that dimple before. On the portrait hanging in the main dining room, Grace Lockhart, William Lockhart's late wife. "These are his daughters." Taylor didn't think, didn't hesitate. She yanked off her red jacket, bundled the first baby against her chest, and used a dish towel from a nearby shelf to fashion a makeshift sling for the other two. Tying them snug against her back, the babies whimpered, their little fingers curling into the fabric of her shirt. "It's okay," Taylor whispered, her voice cracking. I've got you, she stood, cradling the warmth of their tiny bodies against her own, and turned toward the door. That's when she saw him. William Lockhart stood in the doorway, his tall frame backlit by the yellow emergency lights. He looked like he'd aged 10 years in the past 3 months, his dark hair disheveled, his white dress shirt half untucked, shadows carved deep under his eyes. He stared at Taylor, at the babies, and then his face did something Taylor had never seen a face do before. It crumpled and rebuilt itself in the space of a single breath. "How?" His voice was barely a whisper. "How do you have my daughters?" Taylor opened her mouth, but no sound came out. Her throat had closed up completely. William took a step forward, his eyes locked on the baby in her arms, on the dimple in her cheek. His hand reached out, trembling, and brushed the infant's damp hair. "They're freezing," he breathed. What are they doing down here?" "I don't know." Taylor's voice finally came back. "Rough and small, I found them. Ms. Lockhart told me to come down here." "And I," Charlotte Williams' head snapped up. "Charlotte sent you here." Before Taylor could answer, heels clicked in the hallway. Charlotte appeared beside William, her expression perfectly composed. But there was something in her eyes, something cold and satisfied, that made Taylor's blood run ice. "William," Charlotte said smoothly, "thank God you're here. I caught this employee trying to take the girls." Taylor's stomach dropped. "What?" she gasped. "No, she was leaving with them." Charlotte's voice was calm, factual, like she was reading a grocery list. "I called you immediately. The security footage will show everything." "That's not." Taylor's voice cracked. "I found them in here. They were abandoned." "Abandoned?" Charlotte's laugh was soft, almost pitying. "Taylor, sweetheart, this is the family's private storage. You had no business being here. And now you're carrying the Lockhart estate's most valuable assets out the back door in the middle of the night." William looked between them, his jaw tight, confusion and grief warring in his eyes. The baby in Taylor's arms stirred, her tiny hand gripping Taylor's shirt. And in that moment, standing in a cold hallway at 3 a.m, holding 3 lives against her chest while a woman in a $1,000 suit called her a thief, Taylor realized she'd just walked into a trap she never saw coming. The silence stretched like a wire pulled too tight. William's gaze moved from Charlotte to Taylor, then down to the 3 small bundles pressed against the young woman's body. The baby in her arms had stopped crying, her breathing evening out into something almost peaceful that should have meant something. William felt it in his gut, a tug of recognition, of wrongness in Charlotte's story. But his mind was still foggy, still drowning in 3 months of grief. "William," Charlotte's voice cut through his thoughts. "I know this is difficult, but we need to call security before she—" "I'm not going anywhere," Taylor said, her voice stronger despite the tremor in her hands. "I'm not leaving them." Charlotte's smile was thin. That's exactly what someone who intended to kidnap them would say. Kidnap. The word came out like a slap. Taylor's eyes went wide. "Mr. Lockhart, I swear I found them in that storage room under a leaking pipe. They were soaked, freezing. I would never. The security cameras will tell us everything." Charlotte pulled out her phone, her fingers already scrolling. "Richard, yes. It's Charlotte. We have a situation. I need you here immediately." A pause. "Family matter. Bring the paperwork we discussed." Taylor felt the ground tilt. "Paperwork? What paperwork?" William stepped closer to Taylor, close enough that she could smell his cologne. Something expensive that didn't quite mask his exhaustion. His eyes fixed on the baby in her arms, and something in his expression cracked. "Lily," he whispered. The baby's eyes fluttered open. Dark eyes, impossibly deep, with that dimple creasing her left cheek when she yawned. "Or Sophie, or Nora, I still can't." His voice broke. Grace was better at telling them apart. The mention of his wife hung in the air. Taylor had never met Grace Lockhart, but everyone knew the story 3 months ago. She'd given birth to triplets and died doing it, gone before she ever got to hold all 3 of her daughters at once. William reached out slowly and touched the baby's tiny hand. Her fingers immediately wrapped around his thumb. "Mr. Lockhart," Taylor said quietly, "please listen. I didn't take them. Your sister-in-law told me to go to that storage room. She said there was inventory to sort, but when I got there, all I found was them, alone, cold. The stroller was soaked, and there was this smell spoiled milk, and I couldn't leave them there." William's jaw tightened. Charlotte told you to go there. She specifically said the back entrance. Second door on the left. For a moment, doubt flickered across William's face. But Charlotte was already moving, her heels clicking across the concrete. William, I understand you're overwhelmed, but we can't let emotion cloud judgment. She gestured toward Taylor. This woman has worked here 4 years. Has she ever expressed concern about the girls? Ever asked how they were? Taylor's mouth went dry. Because Charlotte was right, she hadn't. Not because she didn't care, but because people like her didn't ask people like William Lockhart personal questions. You kept your head down. You stayed invisible. She saw an opportunity, Charlotte continued, a vulnerable widower, 3 valuable heirs, a woman in desperate financial circumstances. She turned to Taylor. You were evicted last month, weren't you? I saw the notice in HR's file. Heat flooded Taylor's face. That eviction notice had been a mistake. A mix-up that got sorted, but the way Charlotte said it made it sound criminal. I'm not. Taylor's words tangled. The baby stirred, whimpering immediately. Taylor shifted, swaying slightly, her hand cupping the infant's head. The baby settled. Nuzzling into her shirt, William saw it. His eyes tracked the motion, the way his daughter calmed at Taylor's touch. He'd seen that before, when Grace used to hold them. The night nurse quit 2 days ago, William said suddenly. Mrs. Chun, she'd been with us since the girls came home. Charlotte didn't miss a beat. Yes, unfortunate timing. I've been interviewing replacements. These things take time, background checks, references. Who's been watching them at night? I've been staying in the East Wing, making sure they're fed and changed. It's been exhausting, but family comes first, then why? William said slowly. Were they in a storage room? The temperature dropped. Charlotte's smile never wavered. They weren't. I put them in the private lounge upstairs, the one with the bassinet set up. I checked at 230. They were fine. I came back down to lock the kitchen, and when I checked again at 245, they were gone. That's when I reviewed the security monitor and saw her carrying them toward the back exit. That's not true, Taylor said. I found them in the storage room. There was a note. A note. Charlotte's eyebrow arched. Taylor shifted the baby and pulled out a crumpled paper. This, it says, switch formula. New instructions. William took it, his fingers brushing hers. He stared at the handwriting. That's your writing, he said to Charlotte. Of course it is. I've been managing their feeding schedule. The pediatrician recommended different formula for Sophie's reflux. That note was for the day nurse. She turned to William. Are we really going to let a piece of paper distract us? She was carrying your children out of the building. During a power outage, when cameras were compromised, I wasn't enough. Charlotte's voice cracked like a whip. Richard will be here in 10 minutes. We'll let the lawyers sort this out. Hand over those children before you're charged with something worse than theft. Taylor's arms tightened. The baby on her back made a soft cooing sound. I'm not giving them back to you, Taylor said. Not until I know they're safe. Charlotte's laugh was sharp. Safe. You're a waitress holding 3 children that inherit a $100 million estate. And you're concerned about safety. Yes, Taylor said simply. William stood frozen, his daughter's hand still wrapped around his thumb. Charlotte's story was airtight, logical, reasonable. But his daughters had stopped crying the moment Taylor held them. And Grace used to say babies knew that they could sense truth better than any adult. Nobody touches them, William said quietly. Charlotte's head snapped toward him. What? Nobody touches them until I figure out what's going on. His voice was stronger now. Taylor, come with me, bring the girls, William. You can't be serious. Now he turned and walked toward his office, not looking back. Taylor followed, her heart hammering, 3 small lives pressed against her body like promises she didn't know how to keep. Behind them, Charlotte stood perfectly still, her phone pressed to her ear, her voice dropping to something cold. Richard, change of plans. Bring everything. We're going to need a full case file. William's office was nothing like Taylor expected. She'd imagined leather and mahogany, cold luxury that screamed money. Instead, she found a room abandoned mid-thought. Papers scattered across an antique desk, empty coffee cups forming rings on the windowsill, a suit jacket crumpled over a chair. And everywhere, photographs of Grace laughing at their wedding. Grace pregnant, hand on her swollen belly. Grace in the hospital, pale but smiling, 3 tiny bundles in her arms. William shut the door and locked it. The click echoed like a gunshot. Sit, he said. Gesturing to the couch, Taylor sat carefully, adjusting the babies. Lily, she was pretty sure, had fallen asleep in her arms. The 2 on her back had gone quiet too, their weight warm against her spine. William stood by the window. staring out at the parking lot where rain still fell for a long moment. He didn't speak, just stood there, shoulders tight. "Tell me everything," he finally said, "from the beginning." So Taylor did. She told him about the double shift, Charlotte's strange request at 2:47 a.m., about the storage room with its broken pipe and sour smell, about finding the stroller soaked through, blankets thin and damp, babies crying weakly like they'd been crying for a while and were running out of strength. There was a note, she said, pulling it out, in the stroller, switch formula, new instructions. But the bottle smelled wrong, like the milk had gone bad. William turned slowly. "Show me." Taylor crossed to the desk and laid out the crumpled note. William picked it up, held it to the light. His jaw worked. "This is Charlotte's writing," he confirmed quietly. "But the formula switch happened last week, Doctor. Patterson called it in himself. Then why was the note in the stroller tonight? I don't know." But the way he said it told Taylor he was starting to have ideas. Ideas that scared him. He moved to a filing cabinet, unlocked it, and pulled out a manila folder. Inside were letters, dozens, handwritten on cream stationery. Grace wrote these during her pregnancy. She had complications, and the doctors weren't sure she'd make it. So she wrote. He pulled one out. Hands unsteady, "This one is from her 7th month." He handed it to Taylor. The handwriting was elegant, but the words were raw. "William, I need to tell you something that's been weighing on me. It's about Charlotte. I know she's family, but there's something in the way she looks at the ultrasound photos that frightens me. Not with joy, with calculation. Yesterday she asked me what would happen to the estate if something happened to me during delivery. She said it was practical planning, but the way she smiled promised me something. If I'm not here, don't let her be alone with our daughters. Not until you're certain of her intentions. A mother's instinct is real, and mine is screaming, keep them safe. Find someone who looks at them like they're fire and flour, not assets. All my love." Grace Taylor's hands trembled. She looked up to find William staring at her, eyes red-rimmed. "I thought she was being paranoid," he whispered. "Charlotte had been so helpful. I thought Grace was just anxious, but you kept the letter, I kept all of them. I couldn't throw away her words, even the ones I didn't want to believe." Taylor looked down at Lily. "Mr. Lockhart, something's not right. The storage room. The timing. It feels like a setup." "It is." Williams's voice was flat. He moved to his laptop, turned the screen so Taylor could see when Grace died. "She left everything to the girls. I'm executor until they're 18, but I can't touch the principal. Only Charlotte and I can authorize major decisions. And we need unanimous agreement." He rubbed his face. "If something happened to the girls, if they were deemed unsafe in my care guardianship, would default to Charlotte. She'd control everything." Taylor felt sick. "You think she's trying to take them from you? I think Charlotte sees a lot of money and a vulnerable widower. And I think tonight was supposed to end with me doubting myself, with me signing over guardianship because I'm unstable." He gestured to the chaos-empty cups. Scattered papers, photographs of a dead woman everywhere. And looking at this, who wouldn't believe it? Taylor wanted to argue, but couldn't. William looked like a man who hadn't slept in 3 months. "But Charlotte didn't count on you actually caring," William continued, something harder in his voice. "She thought you'd panic, call security, hand them over, or try to run." He looked at Taylor. "Why didn't you?" Taylor glanced down at the sleeping baby. "Because nobody was coming for them. And I can't walk away from a kid who needs help. I never have been able to." Something in William's expression softened. "Your grandmother, the jacket that was hers, wasn't it?" Taylor blinked, surprised. "How did you? I've seen you wear it every shift for years." You touched the pocket like you're checking for something important. Taylor's hand went to the pocket. Inside was a photo creased in fader of her and Grandma Ruth at her high school graduation. "She raised me after my parents died. She taught me that the only thing you take with you is how you treated people when it mattered." She looked up. This mattered. William just stood there, staring at this broke waitress holding his motherless daughters. Then his phone buzzed. He glanced at it. Expression darkening. "Charlotte, emergency staff meeting, 7 a.m., mandatory. Security concerns and personnel issues. She's going public," Taylor breathed. "She's getting ahead of the story. By morning, every employee will believe you tried to kidnap my children. Can't you stop her? Not without evidence." He looked at Taylor desperately. "Do you have anything that proves what you're saying?" Taylor thought hard. The storage room, the stroller, but Charlotte would have explanations. "No," she admitted. "Nothing but my word," and they both knew what that was worth. William's phone buzzed again. Another text, then another. "You should go," William said quietly, "before this gets worse. I'll handle Charlotte." But Taylor didn't move. She looked down at the 3 tiny lives caught in a game they didn't understand. What happens to them? William's expression shuddered. I'll keep them safe, will you? The words came out sharp. Or will you hand them over to someone who's already proven she doesn't care if they freeze? William flinched. Taylor stood, adjusting the babies. I'll leave, but not because I'm scared. Because they need you to be the father they deserve. Which means you need to stop trusting the wrong people. She crossed to the door. Hand on the knob, Taylor, she turned. William was holding Grace's letter. Eyes fierce. Thank you for carrying them when I couldn't. Taylor nodded once. Then she stepped into the hallway, into whatever came next. Alone, by 7:15 a.m., Taylor's life had been dismantled with surgical precision. She stood in the back of the Oak Ridge Grill's staff room, arms wrapped around herself, watching Charlotte address the morning's shift. 43 employees packed into a space meant for 20. Taylor recognized everyone: Eduardo, the head chef, Maria from housekeeping, Tommy the bartender. Not one would meet her eyes. I want to be clear, Charlotte said, her voice carrying perfect concern and authority. This isn't about blame, it's about protocol. Last night, during the power outage, 3 infants were found in an unauthorized area, being carried by an employee with no clearance to handle them. She didn't say Taylor's name. She didn't have to. Everyone knew who stood alone in the back, still wearing yesterday's uniform. Security footage is being reviewed. Charlotte clicked to a slide. Taylor in the hallway, something bundled against her chest. Timestamp, 2:51 a.m. What we see here is concerning. An employee, alone with vulnerable children, moving toward an exit during a system malfunction. A murmur rippled through the crowd. Taylor's mouth went dry. That image showed her after she'd found the babies, but without context, it looked exactly like what Charlotte wanted. Kidnapping. I'm not making accusations, Charlotte said, but we have a responsibility. Which is why, effective immediately, Taylor Monroe is suspended pending investigation. The room erupted. Whispers, gasps, people turning to stare with disgust. Eduardo raised his hand. Charlotte, I've worked with Taylor for 3 years. I appreciate your loyalty, but this isn't personal, it's policy. Charlotte's smile never wavered. If Taylor is innocent, the investigation will prove it. Until then, we prioritize safety over sentiment. Safety over sentiment. The words landed like a slap. Maria tried next. What if there's more to the story? Then the investigation will reveal it. But we can't allow emotions to compromise judgment. I've already contacted legal counsel and filed reports with Child Protective Services. Mr. Lockhart supports these measures completely. That last part was a lie. But how could Taylor prove it? The meeting ended. People filed out, giving Taylor wide berth. 2 security guards appeared. Ma'am, we need you to come with us. I need to get my things, already packed. The taller guard held up a cardboard box containing her spare uniform. Phone charger. The coffee mug that said, "World's okayest waitress." They'd already cleaned her out. The walk through the restaurant felt endless, past the kitchen where she'd spent 4 years, past the host stand, past the mezzanine where hours ago she'd been wiping tables. The guards walked her to the employee exit and handed her the box. You're not to return. If you do, you'll be arrested for trespassing. The door locked behind them with a heavy click. Taylor stood in the parking lot as morning sun broke through clouds. The box heavy in her arms, and felt something crack open in her chest. Her phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. Check your email. She pulled up her email with shaking hands. Property Management Company. Subject, immediate eviction notice. Due to serious allegations involving criminal activity and safety concerns raised by other residents, your tenancy is hereby terminated effective immediately. You have 24 hours to remove your belongings. Taylor read it 3 times. Other residents. She barely knew her neighbors, but she knew. Charlotte Lockhart had reach, money, influence. Taylor's bank app, $24,783. Maybe a week in the cheapest motel. After that, her phone rang. Unknown number. Taylor Monroe, a woman's voice, professional. Cold, yes, Janet Reeves, Child Protective Services. I need to schedule an interview regarding last night's incident. Are you available this afternoon? Taylor's stomach dropped. Yes, 2 p.m., County Services Building, 4th floor. Bring identification and employment documentation. This is mandatory. Failure to appear will be noted. The call ended. Taylor stood there, watching her life collapse in real time. A car pulled up. Tommy, the bartender, rolled down his window. Hey, I don't know what happened, but I know you. This doesn't add up. Taylor felt tears prick her eyes. Tommy, I got you this. He held out a white envelope. $200. Get somewhere safe, okay? I can't, yeah. You can. He pressed it into her hand. And Taylor, Charlotte's been asking questions about you, where you live, who you know, family. She's been asking for weeks. The words hit like ice water. Weeks. Since before last night, like she was building a file. Tommy shifted uncomfortably. You should know whatever's happening. It didn't start last night. He drove off. Taylor stood there, $200 in hand, her life in a box, and crushing understanding settling over her. This wasn't spontaneous. Charlotte had been setting her up for weeks, and Taylor had walked right into it. She thought about Grace's letter. Find someone who looks at them like they're fire and flour. Charlotte hadn't counted on Taylor caring. But she had counted on Taylor being expendable, invisible, someone no one would believe. And she'd been right. Another email, phone company. Service suspended in 48 hours due to non-payment. Everything was catching up with her. Taylor picked up her box and started walking. 6 miles to the county bus station. Her feet ached, her arms numb, and something dark unfurled in her chest. Not just despair, but rage. She found a bench and pulled out her phone. Pulled up Grandma Ruth's photo. I don't know how to fight someone like her, she whispered. But Grandma's voice came back. You fight by staying alive, by refusing to disappear, by making them look you in the eye. Taylor sat up straighter. She opened her voice recorder. My name is Taylor Monroe. November 6th, 12:34 p.m. This is everything I know about what happened last night, if she was going down. She was going down with her truth on record somewhere, in ways she couldn't see yet. The tide was about to turn. The homeless shelter on Grant Street smelled like industrial cleaner in desperation. Taylor sat on a narrow cot, her cardboard box wedged between her feet. It was 9:47 p.m., 14 hours since she'd been escorted from the Oak Ridge Grill. 9 hours since her CPS interview. The interview had been brutal. Why were you alone with the children? Why didn't you contact security? Do you have any history of mental illness, financial difficulties that might motivate desperate behavior on paper? She looked exactly like what Charlotte was painting her as unstable. Desperate, dangerous Taylor Monroe. Taylor's eyes snapped open. A man stood in the doorway, older, maybe 70, wearing a janitor's uniform from the Oak Ridge Grill. Mr. Walter, the night custodian. Mr. Walter, what are you doing here? Looking for you. Can we talk? Outside? They stepped into the shelter's side yard, a concrete square with a broken basketball hoop. How did you find me? She asked. Tommy said you were headed to the bus station. Figured you'd end up here. Mr. Walter pulled out cigarettes, then shoved them back. I got something you need to see. But first, what happened last night? The real story. Taylor told him everything when she finished. Mr. Walter was quiet, staring at the pavement. I had a granddaughter, he said finally. Melissa, she'd be your age now. She died 4 years ago, car accident. Drunk driver. He showed Taylor a photo, a young woman with bright eyes. I couldn't save her. I was working overtime when it happened. Taylor's throat tightened. So, when I saw what happened last night, Charlotte setting you up, those babies being used as pawns, I thought maybe I can help save you. He pulled out a USB drive. Insurance. What is this? You know that Norms of the mezzanine sign upstairs? Behind it, there's a gap in the drywall. Perfect spot to hide things. He pressed the drive into her hand. Charlotte's been embezzling for 3 years. I'd documented everything, photos, copies, kept it all behind that sign. Taylor stared. Why didn't you go to the police? Because I'm a 70-year-old janitor. And she's Charlotte Lockhart. Who would they believe? He lit his cigarette. But that's just the money trail. When I found last night, that's something else. What did you find? The security cameras Charlotte said were in maintenance. They weren't. I pulled the real footage. It's on the drive. He took a long drag. Shows Charlotte entering the storage room at 2:23 a.m. with the stroller. Shows her disconnecting the space heater. Shows her opening that overhead valve so it would leak on the babies. Shows her checking her watch, then leaving them there and going to find you. Taylor's legs nearly gave out. She tried to kill them or make them sick enough you'd get blamed. Either way, those babies were bait. Mr. Walter crushed his cigarette. I couldn't sleep, kept thinking about second chances, so I made copies and came looking for you. Taylor clutched the USB drive. We have to take this to William. No, not yet. Charlotte will claim it's fabricated. She tied up in lawyers. He pulled out a business card. You go to the police. Tonight, this is Detective Sarah Chun. She'll listen. Chun, the night nurse who quit, my daughter. Charlotte offered her $10,000 to quit and sign an NDA. She needed the money, but she told me everything first. The pieces clicked. A night nurse who quit. Security footage malfunctioning. An employee perfectly positioned to take the fall. There's one more thing, Mr. Walter said, the night nurse before my daughter. She died 3 weeks ago. Car accident, brake failure, ice flooded Taylor's veins. You think Charlotte? I think Charlotte doesn't leave loose ends. Go tonight. Don't wait. Don't tell anyone where you're going. He pressed the detective's card into her hand. Because if Charlotte finds out before you make it official, he didn't finish. Taylor looked at the USB drive and card, hands trembling. Why are you doing this, mister? Walter's eyes went distant. Because I couldn't save my granddaughter, because I've watched Charlotte treat people like they're disposable. Because those 3 little girls deserve better. He looked at Taylor. And because I saw you wrap those babies in your jacket without thinking twice. He turned to leave, then stopped. In the footage, there's audio. Charlotte makes a phone call. Listen carefully. Who is she calling, doctor? Richard Hawthorne, the family lawyer. They weren't discussing legal strategy. They were coordinating a cover-up. Then he was gone. Taylor stood alone, holding evidence that could save her life or end it. She pulled out her phone and dialed Detective Chun's number. This is Chun. Taylor took a breath. Detective Chun, my name is Taylor Monroe. I need to report a conspiracy to harm 3 infants and frame me for attempted kidnapping. And I have proof. A pause. Then, where are you? Grant Street Shelter. Stay there. I'm coming to you and Miss Monroe. Don't talk to anyone until I arrive. The call ended. Taylor sat on that broken bench, clutching truth, and waited for the detective who might be her only chance. Above her, stars flickered through the city's light pollution, distant, cold, but still burning. Still fighting against the dark. William Lockhart stood in the nursery at 3:17 a.m., watching his daughter sleep. Lily, Nora, and Sophie lay in their cribs. Custom white oak with organic cotton sheets. The room was temperature controlled to exactly 68 degrees. A white noise machine hummed, every surface sanitized twice daily. And yet, 48 hours ago, they'd been abandoned in a cold storage room. William's hands shook as he adjusted Lily's blanket. Or was it Sophie? He still couldn't tell them apart. Grace had known instantly something about how each girl scrunched her nose, the different pitches of their cries, the way Nora grabbed with her left hand first. But Grace was gone, and William was drowning. He pulled out his phone, opened the photo album he couldn't stop looking at. Grace in the hospital, hours before she died. The last video. Grace, pale and exhausted, holding all 3 girls. William, if something happens to me, don't let grief make you stupid. Don't trust people just because they're family. Find someone who loves these girls for who they are, not what they represent. Promise me. He'd promised and ignored every word. His phone buzzed. His private investigator, Marcus Reeves, hired 6 hours ago, found something. You need to see this. Coming to you now. Marcus arrived 20 minutes later. Manila folder thick with documents. Ex-FBI, mid-50s, the kind of face that gave nothing away. They met in William's study. Grace's books still lined the shelves, her reading glasses on the desk, her coffee mug, unwashed since the day she went into labor, held pens he couldn't bring himself to use. You're not going to like this, Marcus said, dropping the folder. Charlotte Lockhart has been embezzling for 3 years. Estimated total, $847,000. William's vision tunneled. What? Fake vendor accounts, inflated expenses, phantom consultants. She's good-kept amounts small enough to avoid audits. Marcus pulled out a spreadsheet, but it's there. Bank transfers, forged signatures, email chains. There's more, Marcus continued. Taylor Monroe, I looked into her. She's clean. Not even a parking ticket. Worked 3 jobs, all fired yesterday, citing reputation concerns. Charlotte's doing, William said flatly, almost certainly. But Charlotte commissioned a full background check on Taylor on October 15th, weeks before any of this. She was looking for someone vulnerable. Exactly. Then there's Mrs. Chun, your previous nurse, paid $10,000 to quit and signed an NDA 3 days before Taylor found your daughters. Why? Because Mrs. Chun was documenting irregularities in the girls' care formula that smelled off, medication schedules changing, unexplained bruises. She brought concerns to Charlotte, who bought her silence. William's hands curled into fists. The nurse before her, Sandra Martinez, died in a car accident 3 weeks ago. Brake failure. She'd expressed concerns about the girls' care. Was planning to report Charlotte to CPS. The room tilted. William gripped the desk. Your daughters were being systematically neglected, Marcus said quietly. Not obvious, but enough to make them sick, weak. If something had happened, if they died from what looked like natural causes, it'd be devastated. Potentially unfit, guardianship would default to Charlotte, and she'd control everything, all of it. Your daughters were worth more to her dead than alive. William thought he might be sick. Taylor was the fall guy, Charlotte positioned her. Abandon the girls where Taylor would find them, then caught her if it had worked. You'd believe Charlotte. Taylor would be arrested, and in the chaos, something would have happened to the girls. Except Taylor actually cared. William's voice cracked. She didn't run, she just took care of him. Marcus nodded. Charlotte didn't account for genuine decency. What do I do? We've got enough to bury Charlotte. But William, your daughters are still in that house with her right now. If she realizes we're onto her, she'd run, or worse. William turned. What about Taylor? Homeless shelter on Grant Street, lost everything. CPS interviewed her today. Didn't go well. That's insane. She saved him. I know, but on paper she looks guilty. Marcus pulled out another document. The night custodian pulled the real security footage. Everything's on a USB drive. He gave it to Taylor. She took it to the police tonight. Detective Sarah Chun, can I see it? Chun's reviewing it now. Said she'd call you in the morning. Marcus checked his watch. It's almost 4 a.m. Sleep. William laughed bitterly. My daughters were being poisoned by my sister-in-law. Sleep isn't happening. Then read your wife's letters. All of them. I'm betting Grace knew. And if you're going to protect your daughters now, you need to understand what she was trying to tell you. After Marcus left, William pulled out the box of Grace's letters. 43 in total. He forced himself to read. Letter number 12. Charlotte asked if I'd considered naming any girls after her. She laughed, but her eyes weren't laughing. They were calculating. Letter number 19. I dreamed Charlotte raised our daughters. She taught them my name like a cautionary tale. Your mother was weak, she told them. I woke up screaming. Letter number 28. Charlotte keeps bringing me coffee, says it'll help. William, the coffee tastes strange. I've started pouring it out. Letter number 41. If I die. Don't let Charlotte take control. Find someone who loves our girls without agenda. Promise me you'll find them. Grace had known, she'd known, and he'd dismissed it. His wife had tried to warn him, and he'd failed her. William's phone rang. Detective Chun, Mr. Lockhart, I've reviewed the footage. We need to talk, and you need to get your daughters somewhere safe. Right now, William was already moving. Where should I take them? Anywhere Charlotte doesn't know about. And don't tell her you're leaving. Don't give her a warning, just take your girls and go. William ended the call and ran for the nursery. Grace's final letter clutched in his hand. Find someone who loves our girls without agenda. That person exists. He'd found her. In a hallway at 3 a.m., wearing a dead grandmother's jacket. Carrying 3 lives, like they mattered more than her own safety. And he'd let Charlotte destroy her, but not anymore. William Lockhart was done being the grieving widower who couldn't function. It was time to be a father. Taylor didn't sleep that night. She sat on that shelter cot until 6 a.m., the USB drive clutched in one hand, Detective Chon's business card in the other. Replaying their parking lot conversation, Chon had listened to Taylor's story without interrupting. Watched the security footage twice, then made 3 phone calls. This is solid, Chon had said. Premeditated child endangerment, conspiracy, attempted fraud. With Walter's testimony and this footage, we can bring charges. She'd paused. But Charlotte Lockhart has resources, the best lawyers. They're going to come at you hard. I know, are you ready for that fight? Taylor had looked at the USB drive, at the truth captured there, at 3 little girls who couldn't fight for themselves. Yes, she'd said now, as gray light filtered through shelter windows. Taylor tried to convince herself that answer was true. Her phone rang, unknown number. Taylor Monroe, a man's voice, smooth and expensive. Who is this, doctor? Richard Hawthorne, the Lockhart family's attorney. I believe we should talk. Taylor's blood went cold. How did you get this number? I'm calling to extend an offer. Charlotte Lockhart is willing to withdraw all complaints and provide a settlement of $100,000. In exchange, you sign an NDA and agree not to pursue legal action. $100,000, enough to start over. Why would she do that? Taylor asked carefully. Because this is a misunderstanding. Charlotte has no desire to see you suffer. She wants to protect the family's privacy and move forward. Move forward. Taylor's laugh was sharp, while she tried to kill 3 babies. A pause, then Hawthorne's voice cooled. That's a serious accusation when you cannot prove, actually. I've seen the security footage, the real footage. Silence, then I see. And where is this alleged footage? Somewhere you can't touch it, Ms. Monroe, let me be frank. You're a 25-year-old woman with no family, no job, no resources. Charlotte has unlimited funds and the best legal team in the state. If you pursue this, we will destroy you. By the time we're done, no one will believe a word you say. Is that a threat? It's a promise. Take the settlement, walk away, or refuse and fight a battle you cannot win." His voice dropped. "And Mids, Monroe, accidents happen. Especially to people who make themselves problems." The line went dead. Taylor sat there, heart hammering. That wasn't just legal threat, that was the same threat that had ended Sandra Martinez. She needed to move. Now, Taylor grabbed her box and headed for the exit. But as she pushed through the door, a figure stepped from a parked car, Charlotte Lockhart. Immaculate in a navy suit, sunglasses hiding her eyes. "Taylor, I was hoping we could talk." Woman to woman, Taylor's grip tightened on her box. "I have nothing to say to you." "Oh, I think you do." Charlotte crossed the street with easy confidence. "You've been busy talking to the detectives, collecting evidence, making accusations." She smiled. "It's impressive. I didn't think you had it in you. You tried to kill those babies. I tried to secure a future for the Lockhart empire. There's a difference." Charlotte pulled off her sunglasses, eyes flat and empty. "Those children are liabilities, expensive liabilities that dilute resources and complicate succession. I was doing everyone a favor. They're human beings. They're investments that aren't paying dividends." Charlotte's tone was matter-of-fact. "William is too weak to see it. Too sentimental, but I'm practical." Taylor felt sick. "You killed Grace, the coffee, the high blood pressure." Charlotte's smile widened. "Oh, you're clever, yes. Grace's coffee had some additives, nothing dramatic, just enough to stress her cardiovascular system. Pregnancy did the rest. You murdered her. I removed an obstacle, just like I removed Sandra Martinez. Just like I'll remove you if you don't accept Richard's offer. The police have the footage. Footage can be discredited. Experts bought, witnesses persuaded." Charlotte's hand moved to her purse, but I'd rather not go through the hassle. "So, you're going to destroy that USB drive and disappear with your settlement money?" No, something cold flickered in Charlotte's eyes. "You realize I can have you killed? Not immediately, but in a few weeks. A mugging gone wrong, an overdose, a tragic suicide. Who would question it?" Taylor forced herself to stand tall. "You're going to jail. There's too much evidence." "People like who, Walter?" "The 70-year-old janitor with a criminal record." "Detective Chun." "William." Charlotte laughed. "William is a broken man. He'll believe whatever I tell him. He knows." Taylor said quietly, "About the embezzlement, about Sandra, about everything." Charlotte's mask slipped, genuine surprise, followed by calculation. "Does he now?" Her voice was soft. "Dangerous." "Then I suppose we have a problem." She pulled out her phone. "Richard, change of plans. Contingency 3, yes." Immediately she ended the call. "You just made a stupid mistake." "What did you do, insurance?" "William's daughters are currently with a new nanny. Someone loyal. And if William doesn't cooperate, well, sometimes babies stop breathing. SIDS is tragic, but not uncommon with triplets." Horror flooded Taylor. "You wouldn't." "I already tried once. This time I'll finish." Charlotte put her sunglasses back on. "So here's your choice. Destroy that evidence and disappear, or watch 3 infants die because you couldn't leave well enough alone." She walked to her car and drove away. Taylor stood frozen, body shaking. "She called Chun. She knows." Taylor gasped. "Charlotte knows everything, and she's threatening to kill the babies." "Slow down. Where are you?" "Grant Street." "Charlotte was just here. She admitted everything." "Did you record it?" Taylor's heart sank. "No, it's okay. Do not go anywhere alone. I'm sending a patrol car." "No, we're putting you in protective custody." "What about the babies?" "William got them out 2 hours ago. They're safe." Relief hit hard. "They're safe, yes." Charlotte's bluffing. Chun's voice softened. "You did good. Now let us protect you." But Taylor remembered Charlotte's smile. The cold certainty, "Detective, Charlotte's not bluffing. She's planned for this. She has a contingency." A siren wailed. "Getting closer. Get in the car when it arrives. Don't stop. Don't talk to anyone." "Understood." Taylor hung up and watched a cruiser round the corner, but as it pulled up, her phone buzzed. A photo. William's daughter sleeping. And in the corner, a woman's hand holding a syringe. Below, tick-tock. "Taylor, make your choice." Taylor's hands shook violently. The trap wasn't broken. It had just closed tighter. Taylor showed the photo to the officers in the patrol car. "We need to get to William Lockhart." Now Officer Martinez radioed it in. "Dispatch. Credible threat against the Lockhart children. Requesting immediate location of William Lockhart." The response crackled back. "Lockhart is at Safe Harbor Hotel, room 412. Units being dispatched." The sirens wailed to life. Taylor gripped the door as they tore through traffic. Charlotte had planned for everything, every contingency, every possibility. She'd known William would try to protect his daughters. But there was one thing Charlotte hadn't counted on. She hadn't counted on Taylor refusing to disappear. The safe harbor was a mid-range hotel near the airport Anonymous. Forgettable, beneath Charlotte's notice, William had been wrong. Taylor burst through room 412. With officers behind her, William stood center room. Phone pressed to his ear, face ashen. The 3 cribs were empty. "Where are they?" Taylor demanded. William lowered the phone. "Gone. I left them 10 minutes to get formula from the car. When I came back," he gestured at the empty space. The window was open. "Fire escape." Taylor crossed to the window, looked down at the rusted ladder, fresh scratches on the sill. A baby blanket caught on a bolt. She took them. Taylor breathed. Not Charlotte, the nanny. The one I hired yesterday on Charlotte's recommendation. I didn't question where would she take them. I don't know. Charlotte won't answer. Hawthorne's unavailable. I've called everyone. His voice cracked. Martinez was on his radio. "We need an Amber Alert." "No." Taylor cut him off. "If Charlotte knows we've gone public, she'd kill them, right now. She thinks she still has leverage. The moment she realizes that's not happening, they're dead. So what do you suggest?" Williams's eyes were desperate. Taylor pulled out her phone, studied Charlotte's photo carefully. This was taken recently. Look at the light. Early morning. And there, she zoomed in on the window reflection. That's not a hotel, it's a house. And there's a street sign, Maple and something starting with O, Maple and Oak. William said suddenly, "Riverside District, Charlotte owns a rental there. I'd forgotten about it." Martinez was moving. "Let's go." "Wait." William grabbed Taylor's arm. "If we're wrong, we've wasted time. And if we're right, it's an ambush." "I know." Taylor met his eyes, "but it's the only lead we have. Those girls don't have time for us to be careful." William looked at her, this young woman who'd lost everything trying to save his children. "Why are you doing this?" Taylor thought of Grandma Ruth, of Grace's letter, of 3 tiny dimples. "Because somebody has to give a damn," she said. The house on Maple and Oak was a modest colonial with peeling paint. Heavy curtains covered the windows. A black sedan sat in the driveway. They parked a block away. Backup would take 10 minutes. 10 minutes Charlotte could use to disappear. "I'm going in," Taylor said. "Absolutely not." Martinez shook his head. "You're a civilian, who Charlotte expects, if uniforms storm that house." She panicked. "But if I knock, tell her I'm ready to deal." She let me in. "And then what?" William demanded. "I keep her occupied. You find another way in and get those babies out. That's suicide. It's the only chance we have." Taylor was already moving. William caught her wrist. "Take this." He pressed a phone into her palm. "It's recording, streaming live to Detective Chun." Taylor looked at the device. "Smart. I'm not letting you walk in there without backup." And Taylor, "Thank you." She nodded and stepped out. The walk to the door was the longest 50 yards of her life. She kept moving, kept breathing, kept thinking about 3 little girls. She knocked. The door opened immediately. The nanny, young, cold eyes. "You're the waitress. I'm here to see Charlotte. She's expecting you." The house smelled like stale air and baby powder. No sign of the triplets. Charlotte emerged from the kitchen, wineglass in hand. "Taylor, right on time." She gestured to the couch. "Please, sit." "Where are they?" "Safe, for now." "That's what we're negotiating. You have something I need. I have something you want. You want the USB drive and your silence. And Chun to drop the investigation. And William to sign a statement." Charlotte's smile was sharp. "I want my life back. You destroyed your own life when you decided 3 babies were worth less than money. Money is power. Those children are biological accidents." Charlotte pulled out her phone. "Now, here's how this works. You call Chun. Tell her you made a mistake, hand over the drive, do all that. And I'll tell you where the babies are. How do I know you won't kill them anyway?" "You don't. But you don't have a choice." Taylor felt William's phone in her pocket. "Recording everything. I need to see them first." Charlotte considered this. "Fair enough, but if you try anything..." The nanny pulled out a syringe. "Lead the way," Taylor said. Charlotte headed upstairs. Taylor followed. William would be looking for another entrance. Officers moving into position. But if Charlotte got spooked, they reached the 2nd floor. Charlotte opened a door at the hall's end. Inside, in 3 portable cribs, were Lily, Nora, and Sophie, sleeping peacefully. Taylor's breath caught. "They were alive, satisfied?" Charlotte asked. "Yes." "Then make the call." Taylor held up the recording phone, and in that moment, she looked Charlotte dead in the eye. "Detective Chun, you getting all this?" Charlotte's face went white. "What, live stream? Everything you said, all recorded and broadcast to the police. They're outside right now, breaking glass downstairs, police. Charlotte lunged for the babies, but Taylor threw herself between them. They were face-to-face, Waitress and Millionaire. It's over, Taylor said. Charlotte's expression twisted. You have no idea what you've done. Then William burst through with 3 officers, and Charlotte's world, built on manipulation and murder, finally collapsed. Charlotte Lockhart didn't scream when the handcuffs clicked. She didn't cry or beg. She just stood there. Suit slightly wrinkled for the first time, and smiled. You think this is over? Charlotte said, as Martinez read her rights. It's not. I have lawyers, resources, by tomorrow. I'll be out on bail, actually, Detective Chun said, phone held high. You won't. We have you on record confessing to murder, conspiracy, child endangerment, and embezzlement. Plus the RICO charges the FBI is preparing. Life without parole, Ms. Lockhart. Charlotte's mask cracked. The FBI, fraud across state lines, offshore accounts, conspiracy to commit multiple homicides. We've been watching you for 6 months. We just needed someone brave enough to give us the smoking gun. Chun nodded at Taylor. Charlotte's eyes went to Taylor, burning with confusion. You were nobody, a waitress. How did you? That's your mistake, Taylor said quietly. You thought being nobody meant I didn't matter. But those babies didn't care that I was nobody. They just needed someone to care back. Martinez led Charlotte toward the stairs. Dr. Hawthorne was arrested 20 minutes later. The nanny broke down immediately, confessing Charlotte had paid her $50,000 to handle the babies if needed. What mattered was William kneeling beside 3 cribs, hands shaking as he checked each daughter. They're okay, he kept saying. They're okay, they're okay. Taylor stood in the doorway watching. She should leave, let him have this moment. But her feet wouldn't move. Taylor. William crossed the room and pulled her into a desperate embrace. You saved them. You lost everything. And you still saved them. I didn't really have a choice, Taylor said. Not after I saw them. You are. William's voice was certain. Grace would have loved you. The next 6 hours were a blur of statements and paperwork. Mr. Walter arrived around noon, gave his statement about the evidence. You did good, kid, he told Taylor. Melissa would have been proud. The news broke before sunset. Every channel lit up with the story. Millionaire heiress arrested in plot to murder triplet nieces. Waitress turned hero exposes deadly conspiracy. Taylor's name was everywhere, her photo on the front page, reporters outside the station shouting questions. Detective Chun escorted her out a side entrance. You're going to need security. William Lockhart's paying for it. Also paying for a hotel, clothes, food, and a lawyer. She handed Taylor a card, his personal number. Call him when you're ready. Taylor ended up in a chain hotel, security guard outside her door. The room was nice, too nice. She took a 40-minute shower. Washing away days of fear, her phone buzzed non-stop with messages. You're amazing. Thank God for people like you and Tommy. Told you it didn't add up. Proud of you, T. Taylor sat on the bed and finally let herself break down. She cried for Grandma Ruth, for Grace Lockhart, for herself, the apartment lost. Jobs that fired her, dignity stripped away, but mostly because it was over. Eventually she washed her face, pulled on complimentary pajamas, and dialed William's number. Taylor, hi, Detective Chun. Said you wanted to talk. Yes, baby sounds in the background. Hold on, Lily, sweetheart. I know you're hungry, despite everything. Taylor smiled. You can call me back. No, wait. Rustling, a door closing. Okay, sorry. It's been a day. Yeah, same, Taylor. I need to apologize for everything, for not believing you, for letting Charlotte hurt you. His voice cracked. You saved my daughter's lives, and the cost was everything you had. Fair doesn't really matter, Taylor said. Those babies are alive. That's what matters. It matters to me. Which is why I'm fixing this, getting your apartment back, jobs restored. Suing Charlotte's estate for damages. I don't need compensation. I just need to know they're safe. They are, because of you. He paused. Taylor, I have a proposal. Hear me out, she waited. I need someone I trust to help with the girls. Someone who understands how precious they are. Someone who looks at them like they're fire and flower. He took a breath. I'm offering you a job. Primary caregiver. Competitive salary. Benefits. Housing in the East Wing. You'd have your own space, but you'd be there with them, helping me raise them. Taylor's breath caught after I was accused of trying to kidnap them. Everyone knows the truth now, and Taylor, my daughters calm down when you hold them. They know you, they trust you, and so do I. I don't know anything about babies, neither do I. We'll figure it out together. she heard his smile. Besides, you kept 3 infants alive for 30 minutes while wearing them like a backpack. I think you're qualified. Taylor looked around the hotel room at the temporary safety, the borrowed comfort, the life in limbo. Then she thought about 3 little dimples. 3 sets of dark eyes, 3 tiny hearts beating against her chest. Okay, she said, yes, I'll do it. Really? But William, one condition, anything. We tell them about their mother when they're old enough, about Grace, how much she loved them, how hard she fought to protect them. Deal, William said. Voice thick. When can you start? Taylor looked at the clock. 8:47 p.m. tomorrow morning. I'll be there tomorrow morning. When she hung up, Taylor lay back and stared at the ceiling. 48 hours ago, she'd been a nobody. Now she was Taylor Monroe, the woman who'd taken down Charlotte Lockhart, who'd saved 3 innocent lives, who'd been offered a second chance she never saw coming. Grandma Ruth's voice whispered, "The only thing you take with you is how you treated people when it mattered." "I hope I made you proud, Grandma," Taylor whispered. Somewhere she thought Ruth was smiling. 6 weeks later, Taylor stood in the nursery doorway, watching morning sunlight paint gold across 3 sleeping faces. The room had changed since that first terrible night. The temperature-controlled perfection remained. But now there were other things. A rocking chair with Grandma Ruth's worn cushion, a mobile of origami cranes William had folded at 3 a.m. Photos of Grace scattered instead of hidden. It felt lived. Lily stirred first. Taylor crossed quietly, lifting her before she could wake her sisters. "Good morning, Firecracker," Taylor whispered. Lily grabbed her shirt and settled immediately, dimple deepening as she yawned every time Taylor saw it. She thought of Grace, of letters in beautiful handwriting, of a woman who'd fought to protect these lives. "Your mama would be so proud," Taylor murmured. Footsteps. William appeared, hair rumpled, wearing pajamas with spit-up stains. He looked exhausted. He also looked happy. "Lily's up. Just, the other 2 are still out. Enjoy it while it lasts." William moved to the nursery's coffee maker, necessity for night feedings. "Want some?" God, yes, they'd fallen into this routine without discussing it. William handled 2 a.m., Taylor took 5 a.m., and around 8, they'd tag-team the morning chaos. It wasn't romantic or graceful, but it worked. It felt right. "Charlotte's preliminary hearing is next week," William said, pouring 2 cups. "Hawthorne's cooperating fully. Chun thinks Charlotte's looking at 42 life." Taylor took a sip. "Good. You don't have to testify." "I want to." Taylor met his eyes. "I want to tell the jury exactly what she tried to do." Nora woke, her cry building from soft to demanding. William lifted her. "Drama queen. Just like your mother." The words came easily now. "Your mother." Present tense in memory. Sophie woke last, blinking up with dark eyes that saw everything. The morning dissolved into chaos bottles. Diapers, Sophie's reflux acting up by 10 a.m. All 3 girls were on the activity mat. Taylor collapsed on the couch. "How do parents of multiples survive?" "Coffee and spite," William said. "Mostly spite." They watched the girls, Lily grabbing toys, Nora gurgling, Sophie observing like she was taking notes. "The Grace Lockhart Foundation got 347 applications," William said. "First week. Good problems to have." "Yeah," he looked at her. "Taylor, I want you on the board. Your voice matters. I'm a waitress. You're the woman who took down Charlotte Lockhart, risked everything for 3 babies who weren't yours. You're the person Grace wrote about." He turned fully these past 6 weeks, watching you with the girls, seeing how you've helped meet Taylor. "I don't know what I would have done without you. You would have figured it out maybe, but I wouldn't have laughed. Wouldn't have felt like joy was allowed after grief." Sophie spit up spectacularly. "And that's our cue," Taylor said, grateful for the interruption. But William followed, helped clean up, and kneeling on the floor with 3 babies, he said it. "I'm falling in love with you." Taylor froze. "I know it's complicated, too soon, but Taylor," he looked at her with raw honesty, "you're not a replacement. You're the person who walked into hell for my daughters, who makes me laugh at 3 a.m. covered in baby vomit. That's exhaustion and proximity. It's both. It's watching you sing off key to Lily, the way you never give up on people who matter." He touched her hand. "I'm not asking you to feel the same. Just telling you the truth." Taylor looked at Sophie. "At that dimple, I don't know how to do this, how to be someone who matters. Neither did I." Then you showed up at 3 a.m. wearing a dead woman's jacket, carrying 3 lives like they were the most important thing. His smile was soft. "You taught me. Let me teach you back." Sophie grabbed Taylor's finger. "Okay," Taylor said. "I'll try." No promises, just trying. Williams's grin lit the room. That's all I'm asking. 3 months later, Charlotte was denied bail. The trial would come later. Taylor stood in the Oak Ridge Grill's mezzanine, looking at the new plaque in memory of Grace Lockhart, who taught us that family is defined not by blood, but by who shows up when it matters most. Below it, a photo of Grace holding her newborns, eyes blazing with fierce love. She would have loved this, William said. They stood together, not quite touching but close. Behind them, the triplets slept under Mr. Walters' watch. Taylor's phone buzzed. "Tommy, justice feels good, doesn't it?" she typed. "Better than good." Williams's hand found hers, ready to go home. The word felt strange, but good. "Yeah, let's go home." They drove back as evening painted the sky golden rose. When they pulled in, Taylor saw it, the red jacket, cleaned and pressed, hanging by the door. "I've been thinking," William said, unbuckling Sophie. "We should frame that jacket. Put it where the girls can see it. A reminder that real love doesn't look perfect. It looks like someone who shows up." Taylor's eyes burned. "That's either profound or cheesy. Can it be both?" "Yeah," she smiled. "It can." That night, after the girls were finally asleep, Taylor and William sat in the nursery's rocking chair together, her in his lap, his arms around her, too tired to move but too content to care. Outside, rain fell, drumming against windows, but inside, 3 babies slept peacefully, breathing synchronized like a song, and Taylor Monroe, former waitress, unlikely hero, woman who'd learned that being nobody didn't mean you couldn't matter, finally let herself believe in happy endings, not because everything was perfect, but because the imperfect, messy, beautiful things were the ones worth fighting for.